Neville Goddard, Manifesting Money. Neville Goddard is widely considered one of the greatest law of attraction teachers of all time. Born in Barbados, Neville spent his lifetime teaching law of attraction techniques that produce results everything from manifesting money to attracting a specific person. Neville's teachings live on today through his lectures and books. Neville Reader is widely considered the most complete collection of his teachings. Throughout his teachings, Neville Goddard focused on manifesting money and the things you can do with it. Many stories from his personal experience and those of people who follow his teachings relate how things appear magically. Whether it's free trips to jobs to cash, there's a success story. I've selected some of my favorite Neville Goddard quotes on manifesting money to help you learn from his teachings. Let me know what you think about them in the comments below. As I have said repeatedly, everything depends upon our attitude towards ourselves. That which we will not affirm as true of ourselves cannot develop in our life. Dr. Millikan wrote his dream of greatness and security in the first person, present tense. He did not say, I will be great, I will be secure, for that would have implied that he was not great and secure. Instead, he made his future dream a present fact. I have, said he, a lavish, steady, dependable income, consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. Now let me share a letter from a friend. She said, I am a freelance designer. I never seek work, but as I sit at home and imagine I am working, they call. In the past 6 months I have received very few orders from a company that kept me very busy in the past, so I called them to discover that they had employed a full-time art director and would no longer require my services. After hanging up the phone I revised this conversation. I heard them tell me they had lots of work for me, and I felt the thrill in their words. 1 week later they called, asking me to design a 26-page book of institutional advertising, plus 4 ads for Harper's Bazaar. This was more than they had given me in the past at any one time. Now I am busier, happier, and making more money than ever before, and my technique is simple. Sitting in my chair I quietly listen for the phone to ring, answer it in my imagination and hear the orders I desire to create and they come. Ask yourself how you would feel and what you would be doing if your business venture were a great success. Become identified with that character and feeling and you will be amazed how quickly you will realize your dream. The only sacrifice you are called upon to make, is to give up your present concept of self and appropriate the desire you want to express. The great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. The question is often asked, what should be done between the assumption of the wish fulfilled and its realization? Nothing. It is a delusion that, other than assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you can do anything to aid the realization of your desire. You think that you can do something, you want to do something, but actually you can do nothing. The illusion of the free will to do is but ignorance of the law of assumption upon which all action is based. Everything happens automatically. All that befalls you, all that is done by you happens. Your assumptions, conscious or unconscious, direct all thought and action to their fulfillment. To understand the law of assumption, to be convinced of its truth, means getting rid of all the illusions about free will to act. You, by your conscious assumptions, determine the nature of the world in which you live. Ignore the present state and assume the wish fulfilled. Claim it, it will respond. The law of assumption is the means by which the fulfillment of your desires may be realized. Every moment of your life, consciously or unconsciously, you are assuming a feeling. You can no more avoid assuming a feeling than you can avoid eating and drinking. All you can do is control the nature of your assumptions. Thus it is clearly seen that the control of your assumption is the key you now hold to an ever-expanding, happier, more noble life. I'd like to leave you with a success story from Neville's The Law and the Promise. At the time this wonderful thing happened to me I was out of a job and had no family to fall back upon for support. I needed just about everything. To find a decent job I needed a car to look for it, and though I had a car it was so worn out it was ready to fall apart. I was behind in my rent, I had no proper clothes to seek a job, and today it's no fun for a woman of 55 to apply for a job of any kind. My bank account was almost depleted and there was no friend to whom I could turn. My desperation forced me to put my imagination to the test. But I needed so many things and in such short order that I found myself exhausted when I finally got through the list, and by that time I was so nervous I could not sleep. One lecture night I heard you tell of an artist who captured the feeling, or word, as you called it, of "Isn't it wonderful," in his personal experience. I began to apply this idea to my case. Instead of thinking of and imagining every article I needed, I tried to capture the feeling that something wonderful was happening to me, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. I would say over and over to myself as I fell asleep, "Isn't it wonderful? Something marvelous is happening to me now." And as I fell asleep I would feel the way I would expect to feel under such circumstances. I repeated that imaginary action and feeling for 2 months, night after night, and one day in early October I met a causal friend I hadn't seen for months who informed me was about to leave on a trip to New York. I had lived in New York many years ago and we talked of the city a few moments and then parted. I completely forgot the incident. 1 month later, to the day, this man called at my apartment and simply handed me a certified check in my name for $2,500. After I got over the initial shock of seeing my name on a check for so much money, the story that unfolded seemed to me like a dream. It concerned a friend I had not seen nor heard from in more than 25 years. This friend of my past, I now learned, had become extremely wealthy in those 25 years. Our mutual acquaintance who had brought the check to me had met him quite by accident during the trip to New York last month. During their conversation they spoke of me, and for reasons I was not to know, this only friend decided to share a portion of this great wealth with me. For the next 2 years, from the office of his attorney, I received monthly checks so generous in amount they not only covered every necessary requirement of daily living, but left much over for all the lovely things of life, a car, clothes, a spacious apartment, and best of all, no need to earn my daily bread. This past month I received a letter and some legal papers to be signed which provide the continuation of this monthly income for the rest of my natural life. TK.